I have no idea what just happened, but it's officially here. I'm standing on the boat. It's a Lund 2017 footer fishing boat. I inspected the hull when I first bought it. It seems like it's in good condition. I did check the transom. Seems pretty straight, no bends or dents. I haven't done a compression test. I don't know if it's firing on all cylinders, but it did run. It was shifting going forward in neutral and reverse. Let me show you guys the inside of the boat.
Congrats, yo, it's such a nice boat.
We got a lot of work to do.
Such a nice boat.
It is.
Like if it's redone, if it's clean.
It's a proper fishing boat.
Like all the fishing poles, the fishing poles there.
Yeah.
Is it 6 cylinders?
I think it's 4. Should be.
I think there's 6 though.
Really? As you can see, no idea, but we're gonna have to learn.
Good.
One way or another, we're gonna have to learn. Boom! Finally, 1 hour later. We managed to get both consoles off now. The driver console and the passenger console. It's probably more.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This wood is completely destroyed. I don't know. To me, this looks good. It's dry, but
It will be done. Don't you worry.
okay, I think we're wrapping it up for today. We managed to strip most of it out. The next step is going to be inspecting the foam just to see whether this needs replacing or not. I have no idea, but we're learning as we go. And then maybe put it in the water and see if it floats. But I'm also considering maybe calling a specialist just to kind of consult them, and it's always good to ask the professionals what they think. I got a professional right here.
Professional ripper. I know, professional stripper. If you need your boat stripped.
It rained all night, as you probably saw from the last shot. We used a bunch of cardboard to cover up the foam, so we hope that did the job. I'm on the way right now to check on the boat. I'm thinking that all of this can just be cut and removed, and then we can just send new wires for the new switchboard and whatever accessories we choose to install on the boat. And then everything here is related to the motor and things that were connected to the dash, like the RPM, the fuel gauge. Special guest, cheers. I went to the marina store earlier and I got all the necessary things that I need to start working on the livewell pumps. Okay, we have officially installed the intake pump. This is the hose that's coming out, and it's gonna go into this hole over here, which should fill up the live well. And then we installed the second pump as well, and this is gonna be the recirculation method, or the recirculation system. And what this is gonna do is there is a second pump installed in here, and it's gonna draw in water from the bottom of the live well and pump it back out of this valve over here in order to keep the water fresh. Okay, so I filled up the live well with water. We're about to test the recirc, which is meant to take the water from the live well, bring it back up here, and spray it back into the live well. Okay, boat cover came in, and it's time for a water test. The test right now is just to see if the boat floats. No leaks in the hull. That's what we're hoping for. If that's the case, then we can continue everything we're doing. Wait. Drain plug's in, right?
I don't know. Put it? No?
Oh no, it's not in. So we got a floating boat. When we took it out, we pulled out the drain plug. No water came out, which tells us there are no leaks in the hull. So I think that was a successful test. Since it's so beautiful out today, we're not gonna spend the rest of the day working. So we decided to take our boat out. And I'm going over to the boat right now. I'm gonna meet with a friend of ours who's gonna help us pump out the gas from the old gas tank. It's here, now it's here.
I don't think, but I don't need the leg.
I don't think about it.
I'm now like in Afghanistan.
Visco, what a guy. He's always there to help us with whatever we need. So that's the gas situation out of the way. We can fill up the tank with new gas. The next mission is going to be changing the fuel line. So the one that connects the gas tank all the way back to the motor. Got to the wood source. Apparently they have marine grade plywood in stock, so I'm about to check that out. We got our marine grade plywood. One thing we need to take into account is that the bolt kind of goes in, so it's a little bit narrower at the front than the back. So there's a little bit of an angle that we need to cut. And after doing some calculations, this is the cut that we need to get rid of for one side of the boat. Now that we got all the pieces of plywood ready, we're about to start working on the foam. So we're about to cut it up and come up with templates, and then we're thinking probably screwing the wood in first, and then since we'll have our templates, we can just stick it on top right after. Oh yeah, we're here. Okay, now that I got the main power, which is the 8 gauge wire that will be connected to the kill switch, going through here, coming out of the bilge area, I'm gonna use that same sending wire to send the wires for the 3 pumps, the bilge pump, the intake pump, and the recirc pump. So what I did is I cut 3 wires of length, and these will be connected to the pumps, and I'm gonna attach them to the sender wire that we did over here. And then once we have all these connected, I'm gonna start pulling from here, and that should send my wires through so that I can get them over to the helm. And then we'll leave the ends in the back and connect them to the pumps, and the ones coming out of here will be connected to the switchboard.
You could have took one extra egg just for good luck, man.
I got it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like the weirdest thing ever, sail.
It's an old switch panel. This is the old dash that we're not going to use anymore. Okay, now that we got most of the flooring in place and all the cables running through, it's time to start working on the console. The idea here is to dress it up in a thin layer of marine plywood. What we've done so far is basically cut out templates made out of cardboard. So we're going to use these templates to basically cut out the pieces of plywood, and then we're going to stick them on the outside. Obviously this is going to be resin, with fiberglass resin, just so that it's waterproof. Once we dress up the console with wood, we're going to carpet it, and then probably do something different for the dash over here. Maybe put a piece of wood on top and then drill these holes again.
Okay, so I just got this switch panel, and this is one of the pre-wired ones. So you can see there's a bunch of jumpers that have already been connected. With this configuration, we can only use one fuse for all of the switches on here. But we want to change that because we want to fuse every single switch by itself that's going to each accessory. So rather than getting the main power given to all of the switches, we want to feed in power to every single switch by itself. And in order to do that, we're going to remove all of these jumpers in the middle row, because these ones are the ones that are actually powering each switch. Okay, now that we've freed up these terminals, I'm currently making the wires that will connect the fuse box to the switch panel. So I've got these type of connectors which will go into the switch panel, and these type of ring terminals which will go into the fuse box. And I'm going to need one for each accessory that I'm powering off the switch panel. Okay, the next step is going to be installing the dash, which is going to go on here. I need to drill in the holes, make sure it's sat in place. And once I have it in place, I'll redraw these holes from the back so that I know where to cut. And then once I have that done, I can stain this piece, sand it down and stain it, and then reattach it. Okay, so since I am using a piece of plywood, a thick piece of plywood, in order to cover the edges, I bought this edge banding birch, which is the same color as my plywood, and I'm just doing all the edges so that it looks like one solid piece. Let's see if we have light. Yes, sir. Okay, at this point we got all the wires coming in through the helm. We got the power, 8 gauge. This will be the main power supply. This is connected to the recirc pump. This is connected to the intake. And this guy is the bilge pump. And then we've got the stern light and the nav light. And this guy here is the fuel sending unit. And everything is coming out of here. We got the steering unit bracket installed. Now the steering wheel will just go into here, and the 3 bolts should line up from the outside to the inside. And then when I mounted the steering wheel, I had to put one of these guys in, which is called a Woodruff key. Another thing is, you need to keep rotating the steering wheel so that the line comes out completely from this end, and this is what locks the steering cable in place into the steering unit. And then once you have this locked in place, you should see the outboard motor start to steer left and right. I wired up the switch panel again and just organized all the wires once again and tried to get everything as neat as possible. I've got the voltmeter working, the USB charging ports, and I just tested all of the accessories and all of them are working. Okay, so engine oil changed, lower gear oil changed, and the spark plugs have been changed, and the oil filter has been changed. The console is screwed in. We're gonna wrap it up here for today. Tomorrow we'll have one last look and see what else is missing, what needs to be cleaned up, and hopefully if there's some time we'll try to get it out on the water. Okay, it's the next day. We've completed our engine service and it's time to do a motor test. Okay, the time has come. The boat is loaded on the car. I got all my safety gear in there. This is nerve-wracking. Putting a boat in the water for the first time. But so far we're floating. Oh my god, what a feeling.
This is what we were looking for, man.
4 weeks of work and now we're on the water.
Wow, who would have thought?
What a moment.
Wow.
It's full speed? Mashallah, man, we can keep a conversation. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait.
Sure.
Turned off.
Hello?
Yeah.
It's on, it's on.
I turned it off.
Okay, so as you guys saw, the engine did stall yesterday while we were out on the river. What happened was we were cruising out of the marina at very low speeds. We were driving, everything was fine. When we made it out of the marina, I slowly started to gain speed. So I was slowly increasing the speed, and after about 3-4 minutes of increasing speed, I would say we were probably at like maybe 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. The engine suddenly stalled, but it didn't cut off right away. It started decreasing speed and then it completely shut off. And as soon as that happened, well, after I realized that's usually how my other boat dies when we run out of gas. Usually when we run out of gas, it kind of stalls very gradually. But yeah, so we ended up just spending the day out, ended up getting towed back to the marina, and now we're diagnosing. So one thing that came to mind was maybe the tank that's underneath the deck wasn't ventilated. So today I unscrewed the gas cap with a fully charged battery. I tried to turn on the motor. It wants to go, the starter is working, but it just won't turn over completely. I disconnected the hose from the fuel pumps and tried to crank it, and this was spitting out fuel, which tells me that the fuel pumps are working. Both of these guys, both of them are spitting out fuel every time I try to turn the engine over. So I'm guessing that these guys are running okay, and they're delivering gas to my, not sure if this goes straight into the carburetors, but I think it does. Yeah, it seems like these guys, because we've got 4 of them, they pump straight into my carbs, which are over here. The next thing I'm going to do is try to spray some starter fluid and see if this turns on, if it turns on or not, and then after that move over to see if I've got any spark in my spark plugs. So this is what we're going through right now. These are the steps that I'm taking, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so after some time of diagnosing, I ended up giving up because all the signs were leading to the carburetors. So I took it to the mechanic, and it only took a day for the mechanic to call me back and tell me nothing is wrong with the motor, and my issue was water inside of the gas tank.
So I have to get rid of the water that's inside of the gas tank in order for the motor to work properly again. He already flushed out everything inside of the motor and disconnected the fuel line. So now I'm gonna try to take out all the water from inside of the gas tank. Okay, in order to take out the water from the fuel tank, I saw someone on YouTube do this, so I'm gonna attempt this myself. This is the fuel line that's coming from my gas tank. I connected it to a water fuel separator. I got a fuel pump, and then I have another hose coming out of the fuel pump, which I'll pump the gas back into the tank through the gas cap. This is all clean fuel after the filter. All the bad fuel. Okay, so we stopped the pump and you can see the water over here separated from the gas. What we're about to do is try to empty out this water now from this bottom valve over here, and then we're going to turn on the pump again to see if we can pick up any more water. Okay, so I ran it for an hour total. As you can see, we don't get any separation of water and fuel anymore. Okay, fast forward in time a little bit, we've got a few updates. We finally found the problem. The reason the engine kept turning off is because this old fitting over here was completely broken. So we had gone through the entire process of troubleshooting. We went through the fuel filter, we went through the gas, the fuel pumps, we went through a little bit of the carburetors, and the issue ended up being this fitting over here that connects the hose to the motor, the fuel line to the motor. And what was happening is the engine was basically starving from fuel. So every time I would pump it and fill up the outboard with gas, it would run up until it ran out of gas, and then when I came to try to prime it again, it would feel hard, but this was misleading because there was actually no fuel and the pressure was just stuck over here in this fuel fitting. So we ended up just bypassing this fuel fitting and getting a hose barb connector, 3/8 on both sides, and just connecting both. And this has got a check valve in it, which will keep the fuel up to this point over here. And now we're live and on the water. Okay, now that we're done with the interior of the boat and fixing the motor, we're about to install some accessories. I got a Minn Kota trolling motor and a Helix 5 Humminbird fish finder and GPS, and a deep cycle battery for the trolling motor. Okay, so I've wired up the trolling motor. So what I did is I went and got these connectors. So the main power coming in from the trolling motor, I connected it to this male connector, and it goes into the female connector. And then I've got this wire over here running underneath the flooring and going to my battery over here. White Lake, we have arrived. 5:30 a.m. Sun's already out.
5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning. Today going out on White Lake, hoping to catch some walleye.
That's what I call baby well, was it?
Got a double header on
Let's
board.
go. Woo. Giant. Wow, bro, just snatched it.
Nice.
Just snatched it. Wow, what a fish.
Nice.
Say maybe 1.7.
1.2.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Oh yeah. What a morning, boys. Nice, bro.
Ooh,
It's a big one.
it's a nice one. Ooh la la.
Weird, you know, like I didn't even have a chance to like get it. And it was already like
3 pounds.
3 pounds, baby.
Yeah.
Nice.
See, no?
We're gonna go install the seats.
The time has come, finally. Those are beautiful. Mabruk. Yes, sir. New seats, baby.
New seats.
You see how it matches the floors, of course?
The heated floors, of course.
Bro, it looks crazy though how it matches.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Perfect. Literally.
Wow. Straight from Jamaica. Welcome to Jamrock. You see the cover.
You guys see the crotch support?
Y'all see the. There's comfort right there.